Hello, everybody. I want to welcome you to episode 3 of my new channel called Coffee Time with Grandpa. I'm Grandpa, and hopefully, you're having a great day today. I'm so happy that you found my channel. Uh, I am always here on Sundays at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's when I will be posting this new every week. I'll do 4 a month. Um, Today, I want to talk to you about a story time section of my channel. And this story time goes back to when I was the age of 4. I was living in Germany with my grandmother and my mom. Um, that time, it was in the winter time, so it was very cold and very chilly outside. I mean, it was raining and it was miserable and it was turning to snow. And of course, I was an adventurous little kid, a 4-year-old. So I loved going outside and playing. No matter what the weather was, I went outside. I loved playing outside. And of course, when I did that, um, I got a cold. Wouldn't listen to my grandmother because she told me, to bundle up when I go outside. And of course, I didn't listen. I went outside in the miserable weather to play, with my friends. You know how a 4-year-old kid is. Uh, everything is new to you, and you want to explore everything because it's all interesting to you. So what happened was that evening when I came back in, uh, I started sniffling a little bit, and my temperature was starting to go up. So apparently, Oma was worried. My grandmother, I called her Oma, she was worried that I was getting a cold. So she fixed me a cup of hot chocolate, and she started worrying more and more because my temperature kept on going up because she had a thermometer, of course, and she kept track of, she kept on feeling my forehead, and then I wasn't feeling very good, so I was in bed, and I just feeling icky. I remember getting very sick. So she called for the doctor, and the doctor came over to the house, and they said I was developing pneumonia, and that I really, really needed to go either to the hospital or this clinic that the Catholic Church, they ran a clinic for children that were sick and stuff, and he wanted to send me there and let the nuns take care of me. So that's what happened. I ended up going to a clinic um, where it's a children's clinic, and the nuns were taking care of me, and I kept on getting worse. And no matter what the nuns did and what the doctors did, they couldn't do anything for me. My temperature kept on going up, and I was really at death's door. And so the nuns ended up calling the priest to give me my last rites because they did not think I was going to last another day. They just they were so worried about me. I was given last rites because that's what Catholics do back in those days. When you're at death's door, they give you the last rites, so to make sure that your soul will go to heaven and stuff. Um, anyway, when the priest came over and he gave me the last rites, of course, I only remember a little bit about this. I don't remember much because I was so sick and stuff. Um, according to my mother and grandmother, they told this story to me. They said that a few hours later, after I was given last rites, everybody was around my bed, the family, and they're crying. And what happened was my temperature, for some reason, my temperature broke, and it started going down. I guess it wasn't my time to leave this earth. Uh, so this is the second time now that in my 4 years of life that I have had two near-death experiences. And you can imagine how this is what it did to me. It made me closer to God. I'm very spiritual. I have been spiritual all my life. Um, I just cannot stress how when a person has a near death experience, how close they get to God, or what we call God, you know. Um, this is what happened. This is why I'm so spiritual today and why I want to share my story, because I have many more stories to tell before I leave this earth. Uh, Now, this story was very special to me because I deeply believe, spiritually wise, that God had prepared this adventure that I suffered with double pneumonia, because He wanted to make me a more spiritual person, and it did. It did work. I became more spiritual. So I hope you guys have enjoyed that little bit of story time in my life. But now I want to get to the main subject that everybody these days seems to be talking about, and that's eating better for a healthy lifestyle. What you put in your system has a lot to do with your mood, your health, you know, how you live your life to be more joyous. Your diet has a lot to do with it because it is so important for a person. And everybody listening out there, listen to these words, okay? It is so important that you live a healthy lifestyle and you start taking better care of yourself, especially when you get older. It's harder to diet. You start putting on the extra pounds. As you can tell, I still have a little bitty pudgy stomach. You have to learn how to eat properly, and eating properly has certain rules to help you along the way. And hopefully, you will understand what I'm about to tell you. Number one, try to lose weight because your body does not like to be overweight. It causes so many medical problems when you start putting on the pounds. You have to lose some of that weight. Now, I'm not saying get skinny, you know, but lose weight so you can live your life more joyously and more happy. Okay. And for me, I went through a lot of different diets over the years, but the one diet that really stuck with me over the years, and I'm not promoting this diet, but for me, it worked for me. And that was the Mediterranean diet. If you look at the Mediterranean region, people in that region are so much more healthy than the common American. Okay, we have an obesity problem in this country, and we really need to pay attention. A Mediterranean diet. What I mean by that is eat fish. You know, eat meat that is low in fat. Eat chicken. Eat a lot of vegetables. Use olive oil. Stay away from your salt. You know, I'm a diabetic, so I have to be very careful to stay away from salt and carbs because those are the number. Salt will increase your blood pressure, and carbs, they wreak havoc over your system. So please pay attention to these words. Stay away from processed foods. And what do I mean by processed foods? I mean all these foods that they put out in the grocery store. 90% of those foods are processed, okay? And that is not good for you. Stay away. Cook more wholesome foods at home so there's no added chemicals. Processed foods are all loaded with chemicals that are bad for your system and will wreak havoc and cause you to get sick over the years, especially when you start hitting your 50s and 60s, you'll start feeling it. Um, Luckily, I saw the warning signals early in my life, so I definitely avoided a lot of processed foods. The next subject with foods is you need to incorporate into your diet herbs and herbal teas. Those are the cornerstone of my life because in the mornings when I get up, I drink my coffee. And then I go ahead and drink herbal teas for the rest of the day. Herbal teas like, you know, echinacea, green tea, black tea, oblong, all these wonderful teas that have good good effects on your system, okay? They help you digest your food better. They lower your blood pressure. Chamomile tea helps you sleep at night. If you're having problems sleeping at night, and many older people have problems sleeping at night, uh, chamomile tea will do the trick. Drink a couple of those cups at night before you go to bed, and wow, the stress is gone. Your mind is uncluttered. It doesn't think 20 million miles a minute when you're laying down to try to go to sleep. Chamomile helps you lower your stress level so you can fall asleep and get that important REM sleep that everybody needs at night. So you wake up in the morning refreshed. Okay. Cooking with herbs is so important. I cannot stress how important cooking with herbs are. You have to cook with herbs, and I'm talking about like parsley, dill, oregano, sage, all the major herbs that you use to cook with. Use fresh herbs if you can, but dried herbs is good too. Always incorporate those herbs into your diet. And another most important fact is stay away from bottled water. Bottled water has so many plastic microbes in it that eventually, if you drink a lot of bottled water or anything in a plastic container, stay away from. Switch over to a glass container or aluminum containers. You know, that will help you out tremendously to get away from those free radicals that are in plastics that will destroy your body from the inside out. You don't want to do that. Drink spring water if you have it available. I know Walmart carries spring water. They carry distilled water and they carry regular tap water. So you have three different choices right there. Okay. Now, one of my sections that I like to talk about after this is current events, and the most important thing about current events this week is I'm going to talk about climate change. Now, climate change is so important because I'm sure everybody's noticed how in the wintertime the temperatures are getting to be extreme, and then when we hit summertime, they get extreme too. It's either so hot in the summertime or so cold in the wintertime, and there doesn't seem to be like an in between anymore. We go from one extreme to the next very easily with climate change. It is so important that you prepare yourself for these changing times in weather. Weather is so important. Put that weather channel on your phone so you know what's going on around you. In hopefully people will start waking up to doing things ahead of time to help you prep for emergencies. Keeping a first aid kit at home is that's number one. Keeping a radio that you can charge through solar powered energy, so if in case the electric goes out, you'll still be able to get updates on your phone because you'll have a solar radio. Um, Make sure that you have some kind of battery powered power source when the electric goes out, because I live in Nebraska and the electric always goes out here one way or the other, especially when the wind starts blowing really, really hard. The electric seems to go out and come back on, out and come back on. It's just nerve wracking. There are so many things you can do to prepare yourself for climate change. Keep extra blankets at home in case it gets cold and your heat source goes out. Have an alternative. Have a generator if you can afford it. Have a solar powered generator if you can afford it. Uh, Always prepare ahead of time. have a supply of food on hand that won't spoil, that's non-perishable. So in case you won't be able to cook very much, you'll have a food source in a can, dehydrated stuff, powdered milk, etc., etc. This is so important in this day and age. You have to be prepared. I want to welcome everybody to my channel because I am new. Please, I know that every time a video comes on, there's new people watching. I just want to extend a warm welcome to everybody that's found my channel this week. And always remember to help me out a little bit because, Grandpa needs help sometimes too. Always like my channel, share my channel, and comment on my channel. And that will help me out tremendously in spreading the messages that I have to give to the world. I am 72 years old and I've lived a long time. And there's a lot of wisdom up there. And I want to share it with y'all. Hopefully, the all newcomers that are on my channel now, always remember that you are loved, and I will pray for everybody. I'm a very spiritual person. I want to bring great joy and happiness to everybody. So for this time, I'll see you next week. Bye-bye. God bless, and God bless America, and blessed be.